So third point, I was talking about the third point, that it has an efficient storage. Efficient storage means that NumPy library itself provides internally a powerful mechanism to smartly storage data. That means when you will compare the size of the data of the list, tuple, sets, or any data structure as compared to ND array, then you will find that the storage size of the same elements which are in the list or which are in the set, tuple, or dictionary is more as compared to the NumPy array. When we will store same array in a NumPy array, the size will be less as compared to the list array or any other data structure. This is one of the major advantage of the NumPy. Again, coming to the next point, better way of handling data processing. Why it is so? Because I have already told you that it have a number of inbuilt functions, a number of inbuilt data types. This is the reason we can have a better way of handling data processing. We can leverage the strength of so many built-in arithmetical and logical functions using this NumPy library. And the next point is, it has a useful linear algebra, Fourier transform, random number capabilities. These are the built-in capabilities. You can perform Fourier transform operation. You can perform linear algebra based operation. You can perform random number based so many operations. You can create any random numbers, real numbers or integer numbers. You can randomly pick any numbers from array. So there are a number of inbuilt functionality which can be used with a single set of instruction. And another point is use less memory for storing data point. This is another point, that you can change the size of the data in using NumPy library. For example, in the case of Java or C, the default size of each data size is fixed in the compiler. In Java, integer always take 4 byte. In the case of C, it may take 2 byte or it may take 4 byte depending upon the compiler. If it is a 64-bit compiler, then it will always take 4 bytes. And if it is a 32-bit compiler, then it is going to take 2 byte. So for example, if we have an element like 1, 2, 3 are elements which are less than 100, like 450, small numbers. In that case also, if you are working with C and Java, then integer is going to take 4 bytes, means 32-bit to store just 0. If you will store 0, it will take 32-bit. If you will store 101, then it will also take 32 bits. You cannot control it. But as a matter of fact, suppose you know that the numbers are very small in size. For example, we have an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and 2 digits number only. Number are not going to exceed more than 2 digits. And if the data size is very, very large, we have millions of elements, then the difference in storage capability in the NumPy and the other normal list or other languages will be very, very different. Very, very different. Why it is so? Because in NumPy, we can change the size of integer variable. We have the data types like int 8, int 16, int 32, int 64. So we can change the size of integer, float, or complex number as well. If you have a small number, then I will define the size of integer as 8-bit number. So integer will only take 1 byte. And when I will do it, when I will know that the size of number is very, very small, in 1 digit or in 2 digit, that may be fit in 8-bit only. So this is also one of the important points. And coming to the next point, it is easy to learn. Why it is easy to learn? Because it has so many built-in functions, and you can leverage, you can use the strength of those system-defined functions, library-defined functions, and enjoy arithmetical and logical operations in the data with a single instruction. For example, if you have two arrays, you can just add two arrays by single instruction. You can multiply two arrays. You can find a square root of each number in the array by just single instruction, because it has so many built-in functions, and the syntax of using that is also very easy. So basically, I want to summarize it. We will do all the things practically on Jupyter Notebook, and I think that all of you have already Jupyter Notebook. Then we will do simultaneously. Before that, I want to just revise all the points. So main advantage of the NumPy library is that first key point is everything is going to be an n-dimensional array. It has so many built-in functions. It have efficient storage, and we can resize int, float, or complex data type using NumPy array as per our requirement. So these are the key points of this NumPy library. Now coming to the next point, there are two ways to use NumPy. One is Anaconda. Anaconda have a number of libraries. It also supports Windows, Mac, Linux, all the platforms. You can install Anaconda, and you will get Jupyter Notebook, and I think you already have. And the second thing is that if you don't have Jupyter Notebook, you can simply use Python console and type pip install NumPy. Pip is Python package installer, and NumPy package will be installed, and you will be able to use NumPy, no problem at all, if you don't have Anaconda. Now coming to the next point, that is NumPy array. Definitely this is the most important feature of the NumPy package, array. Array is definitely this is additional data type, and this NumPy array is something different from the normal array because it have a number of additional features. Second point is key array may be of any, it may be one dimension, it may be two dimension. Two dimension array is generally known as matrix, and if it is more than two dimensions, it may be considered as a collection of vectors. Suppose it is a 3-dimension, that means there are 3 vectors. If it is a 4-dimension, 4 vector, 5-dimension, 5 vector, and n-dimension means n vectors. And generally in the case of NumPy, each vector is technically known as one axis. For example, if we have a 2D array, means the array is represented in the matrix form, then each dimension is called as axis in case of NumPy. So x-axis will be known as axis 1, and that y-axis will be known as axis 0. That is just a technical name in the case of NumPy array. And one important point is size is fixed when it is constructed. And definitely it is always in the case of array, whether it is a normal array or whether it is a NumPy array, the size of array is fixed as soon as you will declare the type of array. Means before the execution, at the time of compilation only, the size of array is always fixed, whether it is a C array, Java array, normal array, or NumPy array. Size of array is always fixed, which is defined at the time of compilation, depending upon the type of data. Another point is similar data type. In this point also, NumPy array has a similarity with the traditional arrays, that NumPy arrays also contains homogeneous data type. That means if it is an integer array, then it will contain only integer number. If it is a complex array, then it will always contains complex number. If it is a float array, then each and every number will be a floating point integer. So definitely NumPy arrays also contains homogeneous data type. And by default, if you are not declaring the data type, so by default numbers are floating point numbers. Okay. Now coming to the next point, array creation. That how these arrays are created using NumPy library. How NumPy arrays are created. So basically, there are a number of ways to create NumPy array. The first approach is you can write any data type that we have learned already. That we have learned is list. You have already learned tuples, dictionaries, sets. So you can make any data type, and that data type can be converted into NumPy array. This is one way to make any data type, and after making, you may just convert it into NumPy array with some command that we will show in the hands-on session. Second point is that it have also some array creation objects. For example, there is a function called arrange. You can create NumPy using arrange. You can create NumPy using once. You can create NumPy using 0. These are just simple commands that we will do practically. That what actually these commands will do when you will create any array using arrange ones and zeros, it will definitely going to create a NumPy array. These are the inbuilt commands of the NumPy library. Third point is you can also read the arrays from the disk and convert it into the NumPy format. Second, you can also create NumPy array using raw bytes through the use of strings and buffer. We will definitely show. We will learn how to create using hands-on. And there is a one more special library function that is called random. We can also use a random function to create any NumPy array, which is definitely going to have random numbers between any range which you will define. So these are the basic ways of array creation. The most simple way is, and the most simple and common way is just to make any list, tuple or set. Generally we use list and just convert that list into the NumPy array. That's it. And when you will convert it into NumPy array, then you can just use the functionalities of NumPy library. Okay, now coming to the practical session, that how we will create array. First, a list of element, like here it may contain 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. This is simple list. And now you can create that list into NumPy array just by using np.array command. And what is this np? np is just an object of or instance variable of NumPy package that we will show when I will work on Jupyter Notebook. So what we basically do, we import NumPy by the syntax import NumPy as np, and that means np is the object which by using which you can create any np array. So all of you, please just on your Jupyter Notebook, open Anaconda and just click on Jupyter Notebook launch. So all of you, please launch your Jupyter Notebook so that we can have some hands-on. Okay, this is our Jupyter notebook. I think all of you are already aware with this Jupyter notebook, and here you have to click on untitled file. So okay, all of you, just first of all import numpy library by just writing import numpy as np. You may write anything, np, n, num, whatsoever name you can give. So all of you have opened Jupyter notebook. Students, can I hear from your side that you have opened Jupyter notebook? Just write in comment box if you are done with it. Are you getting me? हाँ सर, ये कनेक्शन प्रॉपर वर्क कर रहा है? बच्चों को कुछ रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहे हैं। एक सेकेंड। So okay, I think everyone is getting, and let us see. So first of all, I have imported this numpy library. NP, you can write any name is so library in the object NP. Now for creating a numpy array, what I am doing, just you may write any name is equal to np dot array. And what I have done, I am just making a list of any numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is normal list, and after using this command np dot array, what I have done, I have converted this normal list into np array, and this np array is stored in this variable called a. Now we are done. No error means this array np array has been created. And if you want to just show the see the elements, you may just click on this array. Very simple and easy to learn. Just write A and click on done. You have got these numbers. So this is the first and simple method of creating an NumPy array using the list. So this is no doubt a one-dimensional array. And suppose if you want to create a two-dimensional array, you may also like A2 means two-dimensional array, np dot array array, and what you can do, you can create two-dimensional array also. Two dimension means two brackets, two curly brackets. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the one dimension first row, and this is the second row. First row have 5 elements, second row have 5 elements, and this is the second array that I have created. And this is a two-dimensional array. And if you want to print this array, just write A2 and this is a 2D array. So by doing this, you can create any dimensional array: 1D array, 2D array, 3D array, 4D array. The creation of array is quite simple. Just you have to make a list and follow this command np.array. Now this A2 array is a NumPy array, and now you can use any arithmetical or mathematical or logical operation which is defined in NumPy library using this A2 array. If the array is normal, then you cannot use NumPy function. If the array is a NumPy array, definitely you can use any built-in functions which are already defined in the NumPy array. Now there is one more way of creating a 2D array. Here what I have done, I have written a syntax like two-dimensional array. I have converted it into two braces. Now if you want to write a simple array, simple 1D array, and you want to make it a two-dimensional, this can also be done in the NumPy, like A3 is equal to num np dot, all of you please work with me. You have to also type all the things that I am doing and run all those commands, and we will discuss in last 10 minutes about the queries. If you have any problem, we'll just discuss in last 10 minutes. np dot array, and here I will write only one curly bracket, means 1D array, and I will convert it into two-dimensional array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a simple one-dimensional array, and what I can do, I can define the dimensions is equal to 2. That means it is a single 1D array, and I have converted this array into a 2D array. So by doing this, you can just create arrays by a number of ways. Now, coming to the next point, this was the array using the list. Now coming to the second point, there are some already defined functions by which we can create a default NumPy array. For example, zeros, ones, arrange, and linspace. What does this statement does? If you will define np.zeros 3, 4, it means it will create a two-dimensional array which is having 3 rows and 4 columns, and the values of the element will already be defined as 0, means each element is going to be 0. Second, if you want that you have an array of 4 cross 5 means 4 rows and 5 columns, and each element is already initialized as ones, then you may just write np.ones. It will create a 2D array and each element will be initialized as ones. Third is arrange. What does this function does? Suppose if you want to create numbers between 10 to 20, or you want to create a numbers between 1 to 1000, then you may just use this function called arrange, and this is the starting number and this is the ending number, and this function will generate all the numbers in this range. Means 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and so on. Next is linspace. Linspace 0, 2, 9. What does it will do? This is the range that I have given. This is the starting number and this is the ending number, and this number 9, this third argument is basically that how many numbers I want to create in this range. This command means that I want to create 9 numbers in between 0 and 2. So 9 numbers will be created in this interval, and those numbers will be equally spaced. So let us see practically by running each command. This is another way of creating an NumPy array, that is called this. I am putting the name as simple A, np dot zeros. Now let us print A, simple write A and run it. You can see the output. This is array of zeros. It has 3 rows and 4 columns. By default, each and every number is going to be 0. Now suppose if you want to make an NP array in which each number is initialized with 1 by default. So what you can do, you just write the zeros, ones, and putting the name quite simple, A1. So again this array A1 is created in which each number is initialized with 1, and you may just run it. So this is the output. Each and every number is initialized with ones. All of you just keep on doing with myself. I'm going quite slowly so that each and everyone can follow me and can run each and every command. Okay. Coming to the next method, that is called arrange. If you want to create an array in any range, for example, if you want to create numbers between 10 to 20 or 1 to 100, so basically what you can do, you can just write 10, 20, and I'm putting the name of this array is just A2 and writing it here as arrange. So what this function will do, it will create the numbers in this range. Executed this command and you have to just print this. These are the numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and so on. So it will include starting number and it will stop before this number 20. If you want to create numbers between 1 to 100, definitely you can do so. Yes, these numbers are being created in a fraction of a second. Now coming to another way, these are the quite popular methods which are used in the NumPy libraries to make your task easy. So coming to the another point, that is linspace. Okay, so what linspace is going to do? Linspace is going to create numbers between the range that you have defined. For example, I have defined the range 0, 2, and I want to create 9 numbers in this range. So I will use this function called linspace, like this. This is successful. And I'm changing the name of this as A4. This is the fifth method of creating a NumPy array. And now if we'll print this, the output is like this. 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and so on. That means what this linspace function does, it creates this much amount of numbers in this range which are spaced. Suppose you want 10 numbers in this range, you can do this. If you want to create 11 number in this range, you can do this. 0, 10, 20, 30 and up. So this is the basic functionality of linspace function. So we have learned here 5 ways of creating NumPy array. First is simple, creating an NP array using list of element. Third is creating a NumPy array of ones. Fourth is creating a NumPy in some range using the arrange method. And the fifth is creating NumPy using linspace, that is going to create numbers in a particular range which are equally spaced and given by you. So these are the basic methods of creating NumPy array, and I hope that all of you have got it, that how to create NumPy array. Okay, now moving forward, attributes to NumPy. Of the NumPy that you can use. For example, if you want to know the dimensions of NPy array, you have to simply write the name of the array. For example, the name of the array is ND array and .ndim. So it will return you the dimensions of the array. Basically, the dimensions are known as axes in the case of NumPy. Shape, it is going to give you the shape of the array. For example, it is a 3x4 array or 4x5 array or 2, 2, 3 array, 3D array, 4D array, whatsoever. So it will return you the shape, whether it is a 1D array, 2D array, 3D array, 4D array, 5D array, with the number of rows or the number of axes. Third, if you want to know the size of the array, simple use ND array, any NumPy array dot size. It will give you the number of elements. If you want to know the data type, then type dot d type. That is going to give you the data type, whether it is integer, float, object, or whatsoever it is. Item size, it will return you the size of each element. Suppose you want to know the size of each element using NumPy array, you can use item size. And if you want to know the data, buffer containing actual data, just write nd dot data. So these are the basic attributes so commonly used in the case of NumPy array. When you will make any project, in between you may know about your array, the dimension, shape, size, attribute, and item size by using just single command. So let us see practically. First thing is, if you want to know the number of dimensions, so let us first create an array of 2 dimensions. How to create an array of 2 dimensions? That I have already told you. That just create a list like A2D is equal to np dot array if it is a 2D array, you have to use 2 curly brackets separated by comma. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Again 1, 6, 7, 8. 4 elements in the first row and 4 elements in the second row. Just I have created it. Just look at your array. Yeah, this is quite fine. Now I will use the operations that we have studied. First was, if you want to know the number of dimensions, what you will do, just write the name dot ndim. 2 dimension. Yes, it is a 2-dimensional array. Again, if you want to know the shape, means how many rows and how many columns are there, you have to just write A2D dot shape. Execute this command. All of you, please also follow me and keep on writing on your Jupyter notebook. And I hope that all of you are doing the same. So I have got the shape of this array, that it has 2 arrays and 2 rows and 4 columns. A2 dot shape. Size A2D dot size. Just run this command, and the size of this array is 8. That means it have 8 number of elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your array have 8 number of elements. This size will return you the number of elements. You don't have to make any loop as in the case of C. Now data type. Suppose if you want to know the data type of the array A2D dot data. Sometimes suppose you have downloaded some project from the GitHub. What is the main use of these functions that are already defined? Is that suppose if you have downloaded some project from the GitHub and you are just willing to customize, you are just willing to make some changes in the code. So first of all, you have to go through that code and you have to know the data type, shape, and size of each and every attribute that has been used in that project. And if you don't aware of the stage and size of each and every attribute, because that is a long project, might be possible you don't know that what data is internally coming in any area. So if you want to know that, you can just use these simple functions to get the size, shape, and dimensions and the data type of each and every array. That is quite useful. So this is basically integer of 32 byte. Achha, one more thing that I have already told you, we can change the type of data. in case of any array. For example, we have any array age equal to, I am creating any array of single dimension 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have just created this simple array. And I know that the numbers are very small. So I want to set the size of each element as 8-bit. I don't want to store them in 32-bit. So we can change the size of these using np dot int 8. Now just use again that command arr dot d type. What is the type of the data? Just run this command. Some error is coming. Okay, I have not made this array as entry. Just look at this. Just this is a very important point. I have not made this array as np array. Why it is so? Because I have not written np dot array. So this was a simple array. And this was a simple array, then you cannot use this functionality of numpy, because d type, shape, size, all this is a functionality of numpy. Now it is coming. This is an array, and what I did before that, it was a 32-bit, and I have created a new array, and the size of each and every element is this. You can just print this array, no problem at all. This is the array, and the data type is integer is equal to 8-bit. Now I leveraged this functionality to reduce the size of the data. Why it is so? Because I already know that the size of elements are very, very small. But suppose I have done it 60. Then again I think no problem should come. It is 60. Because 60 can be stored in 8-bit. Again I have did it. Let us try 600. Again, no problem. Yes, the problem came. You typed it 600, but the number is 88. Why it is so? Because 600, this number cannot be stored in 8-bit. So इसको कहते हैं हम लोग राउंड ऑफ कर देना. सी में भी ये होता है कि it will slice down bits, some of the bits. So this is the problem. So you have to be careful. If you are reducing the size of the integer, or if you are defining integer as an 8-bit or 16-bit or 32-bit, then you have to take the numbers in that range only. So 8-bit is suggested for the small numbers. Now you can do it 64-bit. Yes, now this is coming fine because I have increased the data size. So you can there are a number of data types which are already defined in C, in this Python language that you can use. You can make this data type as complex also. Just run this command. Just this is the output. I have changed the data type as a complex number, means real plus imaginary. Imaginary part is not of 0 because these are our integer numbers. You can change the data types and play with numbers. So basically, there are a number of data types which are defined in this. If it is a simple integer, then by default, it may be 32 or 62-bit integer. And otherwise, if the numbers are in the range of -128 to 127, then you may use int 8, means 8-bit integer. If the numbers are in the range of -32768 to 32767, then you may use 16-bit integer. Again, if the number is large, then you may use 32-bit. You may use 60 up to 64-bit of numbers, not larger than that. Similarly, you have unsigned integer. For that, you have to write u int 16, u int 32, u int 64 in the place of int. So that will be unsigned integers. Okay, I think it's 10 o'clock. We will, we can, all of you can just share your doubts in the 10 minutes. If you have any queries, you may just ask in the 10 minutes, because next session I have to start from 10:30. So we'll take half an hour of break. So anyone having any doubt till now? I am going very slowly, keeping in mind that all of you are starting from the beginning, and so that all of you can do hands-on with me as well. So any of you, if you have any doubt or any suggestion, you may just say. I am seeing some comment that how to create array with n dimension. Okay. I've already told that how to create a 2D array. Similarly, we can create n-dimensional array. If you want to create 3D array, you have to use 3 curly brackets. If you want to create 4D array, you have to use 4 curly brackets. One another way that I have told you, that you can explicitly write the number of dimensions. For example, you have to write np.array list comma n dim is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5 or any number of dimensions. Rest of the things, I think. Good morning, nines. Okay, someone have written that, can you explain again linspace? Yes, sure. What linspace does? Linspace creates number in the range which is given by you. For example, just look at this. np.linspace 0, 2, 9. That means it will create 9 numbers in the range 0, 2. And those 9 numbers will be equally spaced. So I think now you are clear with the linspace. Okay, so I think no any further queries. Okay, all of you, we will again meet at 10:30 after half an hour.
Okay, sir. We will meet
Okay.
again at 10:30. Okay. Thank you, sir.